Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about Warren Buffett selling out of all his airline holdings that he has in Berkshire Hathaway, and this news came out last night and it kind of threw me out by surprise because I really wasn't expecting Warren Buffett to be totally selling out of all these airline companies. And that kind of news really shocked me, and I'll be really interested to see how a lot of the stock market will respond to this on Monday, and how a lot of airline companies respond to this on Monday, and how their stocks move, because it is quite a few people that kind of view or see what Warren Buffett's doing, and they tend to copy some of his holdings, and a few of them people will definitely be holding a few of these airline stocks. So it'll be interesting to see on Monday now how these stocks respond with people that copy Warren Buffett's portfolio, and how are they going to manage their positions in airline stocks. Are a lot of these going to go and sell out of their positions now? And we kind of got a hint a few weeks ago really that Warren Buffett was starting to sell out of a few of these airline companies, and really quite a few people at the time, and me included, was like, oh, it's because he doesn't like holding over 10% of the company. And I believe that's the reason why. There we are, he was actually selling out of all of his position at the time, and that's kind of thrown me, and I think a few people as well, we weren't really expecting him to be totally selling out of these companies. And some of these companies are United, American, Southwest and Delta Airlines, and Delta was the one that we covered that he sold out of only a few weeks ago, and he started investing into these companies in 2016. And previously Warren Buffett was a bit of a person that stood off the airline industry, but then in 2016 he actually started buying a few of these companies, and he started holding a few of these airline stocks. But listen to Warren Buffett last night. The reasons why he sold out a lot of these companies is because he believes the airline industry is not going to be the same after the coronavirus, and it feels like his investment has changed. Now I am a believer of there's two reasons why you sell a stock. And the reason why is because you believe that the risk to reward has changed, and you've made enough money to sell out of that company to justify taking some profits, and that's a good thing. That's always the positive reasons that you've made money, and that's why you sell out. The other reason is that something fundamentally changes with that company that you don't like, and obviously Warren Buffett believes that air travel won't be the same after the coronavirus. And that's why he's sold out of these airline stocks. And if he thinks that's true, and he feels like airline stocks aren't going to recover, it's probably a good move by Warren Buffett if that's his reasoning behind it. Now I've got to say, I've always been a big believer. I really like Warren Buffett. He's one of the kind of, when I was starting off as a beginner in the stock market, he's kind of one of the guys that I watched so many interviews about. And I read The Intelligent Investor, which also Warren Buffett has had some influence in, since it was originally wrote in like the 1930s. And I always went by the quote of Warren Buffett of that when other people are greedy, be fearful, and when people are being fearful, that's when to be greedy. And I've tended to gone in that with that attitude at stocks. You know, whenever some stocks have gone down, like Tesla, when Tesla was talked about going bankrupt, I was like, nah, I think they're going to make it through here, and I bought in and I made money like that way. Facebook, when they had the Cambridge Analytica, I bought then, and when them sort of incidents happens, that's when I tend to go in and buy stocks really heavy. And I did consider airlines with all this going on and buying them, but for me, I just didn't like them enough to buy them. And I was really surprised with Warren Buffett actually selling out when all this fear is around these stocks. He's normally one of the opposites that's buying this. So with that quote always running through my head, I think that's one of the main reasons that shocked me, seeing Warren Buffett actually selling out a lot of these companies. Now my kind of view is that I understand why he's sold out of some of these companies. The fundamentals has changed. That there is a 95% drop off on a lot of air travel. A lot of these companies, the dividends are going to be cut. They're not going to be able to pay the dividends until they're able to pay that loan back from the US government. Also, they're not going to be able to buy shares. Not buying shares will hurt the EPS, and they won't look as profitable companies. So from the airlines kind of view, I understand that the stocks aren't as attractive what they once were. I know there's a lot of discount there now for you to potentially get in and take advantage of the discount, but at the same time you've got to weigh it up that the EPS is going to look absolutely shoddy after what has happened and without the buybacks. Now there's also the dividend. I would say like 50% of the reason you get into airline stock or stocks is for the dividend, so that's now gone as well. And also they're going to prioritize paying that loan back from the government, because without paying that back they can't do the buybacks, they can't do the dividend. So that is definitely going to hurt stocks, or the airline stock. Also, I generally don't like airline stocks because I believe they're not a very profitable business. The profits on airline stocks don't grow. Delta would be the one that I would buy if I was forced to pick an airline stock, and I was a little bit close to buying Delta. I did have a big look into it, but the profits don't grow, and if there's not as much air travel, there's a lot more competition. You need the profits to pay back a lot of this US government loan. It's not a great thing for a lot of these airline stocks because everything's like against them right now, because with the loan they have to pay back and not profit increasing, it's not going to look good on the EPS front, look good on the dividend front. Overall, it's not a great picture for airlines right now. And I do disagree with Warren Buffett a little bit, because I believe air travel will come back and at some point it will get to where it is right now. It will take a while to do it, but it will do, because naturally air travel just naturally grows going forward, especially when there's a lot more developing countries as well that still have to capitalise on air travel. So I disagree with Warren Buffett, because I do believe that air travel will get to that back at the point it is in 2019. But I can understand his point from selling out, because there is a lot of risk now and the stocks are not attractive as what they once were only a year ago. So I understand his point there, but I disagree with the air travel point of view. I'm on the fence with this one really, because I understand why he sold out. I don't know if I'd sell out now, just because there's a lot more like reward to risk, I would say. But at the same time, because I didn't buy that stock, because I didn't like the airline industry anyway, it's hard for me to kind of judge on that position. But fair play to Warren Buffett. If he does want to sell out because he feels like it's not going to recover and the company has fundamentally changed, it does make sense to maybe pull out that money out there and go to another kind of industry. I would say that I haven't seen Warren Buffett, and he said he's not buying anything just yet, which I'm kind of like, there's so many great tech companies out. Like if I was Warren Buffett, generally I would look at Facebook and be like, yep, I'll buy 10% in Facebook, because I think that this sort of prices for Facebook is an absolute bargain. Same with Disney, I'd be like, I'm going to go buy a 5% stake in Disney. So I kind of think that Warren Buffett could have said, or as well yesterday, say that he has been buying a few more stakes in a few more companies, especially tech companies, because I feel like that's where Warren Buffett's weakness has been over the last 10 years, is not buying enough tech companies. But overall, I thought I'd share that with you about Warren Buffett selling out of the airline stocks. And overall, like I say, I can understand why he did it, but at the same time, I would say that it would have been best, while we're on this discount, buying some amazing tech companies that are out there for sure. And that's the video for today, guys, covering all that. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you could smash that like button, that'd be absolutely amazing. I'll see you in the next video.